Here are some common questions being asked to the OP in regards to the story of my husband cheated on me with my best friend. The OP also provides a small update at the end. First question: does Tyler's parents still talk to him? OP responds by saying, no, my mother-in-law cut him off almost instantly and went no contact. Father-in-law is very low contact and only speaking with him when he takes the kids to their supervised visits to see him. Second question: did Tyler cheat on you with more than just Jess? OP responds, to my knowledge, there are only one other girl, which if you click on my comment and scroll a little, you'll see me briefly explain the situation. If there are any more than that, it's not to my knowledge, and I honestly think I prefer not to know. Another question was, aren't you concerned about Jake and Jess being in contact with one another still? They are siblings after all. OP responds, Jake and Jess never had a good relationship. They were very, very low contact before any of this came out. They never got along as kids, and the relationship never changed as they got older. Looking back on it, it was a major red flag how she treated him. They only ever spoke as adults at family functions, and even that was brief and only surface level conversations. Another question is, what are all you telling your kids? You should let them process how they need to. OP responds, the only one who is old enough to semi-understand what's happening is my oldest. I sat both of them down and simply said, Mommy and Daddy aren't together anymore. Daddy did some things that I wasn't okay with. That means Daddy won't live with us anymore, but you can still see him, spend time with him, and love him with all of your heart. It might be a little confusing, and that's okay, but it's important to know that we both love you guys so much, and that will never change. Then asked if they want to talk about it at all, or if they had any questions about the situation. My oldest had a few, and I answered in an honest but age-appropriate and gentle manner. They are all still in therapy. They come to me if they want to talk about it, but if not, I don't push it on them. My goal in this has never been to weaponize and poison the kids against him, and it's something I will never do. He's their dad, and I refuse to traumatize them any more than they have to be. Another question is... on to the update from the OP. So if you've read any of my previous comments, you know that baby boy is here. He's honestly been the calmest newborn that I've ever managed. Hardly cries, is very content and happy all the time. He's been reaching all of his milestones markers, even hitting the ones that aren't on the preemie scale. It's been such a relief and a blessing. The older two completely adore him and are, of course, eating up the extra attention they get from their grandparents. Yes, Angie and her husband are called Grandma and Grandpa as well. When I went into labor, I had told Tyler that I was in labor, but I didn't want him at the hospital. It is his kid, so I was being very courteous. He blew up on me for taking away his right to see his child be brought into the world. I simply turned off my phone to relax and de-stress. He actually showed up at the hospital and had to be escorted off the property by security. Not for being violent or anything, he just wouldn't leave after I told the nurses I delivered at a hospital I worked at. I'm an RN. And I didn't want him around. After that, he hasn't been to a single visit to see the kids. I initially sent him pictures of the baby and updates, but he never responded and eventually blocked my number. After roughly a month, I asked my father-in-law to reach out to him since no one had heard from him. My father-in-law actually showed up at Tyler's house to do a well check since I was concerned something was wrong. Even though I don't love him anymore, there is a piece of me that will always care for him as the father of my children. Turns out, he has a new girlfriend and just isn't interested in being a dad anymore. He actually even denied paternity, even though he's the only person I've ever been with physically. The kids are honestly and surprisingly okay with him not really being around. No, I don't feel it necessary to tell them the harsh things he said. Jake has been completely amazing. He had my favorite food delivered to me at the hospital post-birth, FaceTiming me and texting me regularly, chatting it up with the kids. Hasn't been pushy on me at all. Has let me set the pace completely. Hasn't crossed any of my boundaries in the slightest. He actually booked me a surprise postnatal massage and arranged all of it, including childcare. It was the most relaxed I felt in months. He sent little gifts and foods to the house occasionally, especially on my hard days. Jake has truly been a breath of fresh air. He comes home in just over 3 months, and I'll be lying if I said I wasn't excited. As for me, I've still been regularly attending therapy. It really helped me cope and just in general became a better person and mother. I'm still devastated by my dad's passing, and grief really loves to take a chokehold on me when I least expect it. Sometimes I just go sit in his office where it smells the most like him and cry. I am very blessed to have such a loving and amazing dad. Angie and mother-in-law have truly been angels on earth. I cannot express how beyond lucky I am to have this amazing support system. Even father-in-law and Angie's husband have been insanely supportive and kind. I would be lost without their unconditional love and support. As crazy as it sounds, I'm honestly unbothered by the divorce and Tyler not being around anymore. I think I'm more relieved than anything. My heart aches for my children, but I don't know. I don't think I truly realized how long I've been holding my breath and walking on eggshells in that marriage until I was in a space where I didn't have to anymore. My therapist and I dug deep and took off the rose-colored glasses. In a weird yet awful way, I'm almost thankful I caught him cheating. I think that's why I was so calm and methodical during the leaving him phase. I go back to work next week. I think I'm ready to find my new normal and get back into a routine. While my heart aches for my dad, because my dad isn't around to see it, I'm ready to unlock this next chapter of my life. Cheers to a chapter of healing, self-love, new beginnings, and finding peace within the chaos. Thank you for going through this journey with me, supporting me, sharing your stories with me, and just being here. Love you all, internet friends. I hope you have an amazing day, and I'll update again when I can. Wow. It looks like OP's life is up and up right now. She still have the strong support system in place. Tyler is basically moved on, doesn't want to be a dad. And I guess he finally showed his true color to OP. I'm glad that Jake is coming back to again support the OP. I mean, Jake sounds amazing to be so patient and so understanding while OP is going through such hard times. I mean, he's awesome. And I wish to find out if anything does happen between OP and Jake, if anything becomes more than just friends. I am excited about that. But let's see what the comment section have to say. First comment says, "Hey, I just wanted to say how impressive you have handled the situation and how much I admire you for that. I am very happy to hear that you have such a strong support system and that things are seemingly going well for you. I was even more impressed that you helped out and donate to shelters nearby. To me, you truly seem like a genuinely nice and caring person." What I want to ask is, in your first post, you spoke very highly of your husband and how he behaved during your pregnancy and during the time of your father was sick. I want to ask whether there were things or signs that you could recognize now in hindsight more clearly. You mentioned that you talked to your therapist about that. I imagine she has helped you recognize some of these things. Would you be willing to share those signs? I would be really interested in seeing what type of behavior one has to look out for in order to find out if one is being manipulated. One reason why is that because my little sister was in a horrible relationship with an older man, and she also had her rose-colored glasses on, which prevented her from seeing his true character. It was a stressful time for me and her especially, and I just hope so much that we can avoid these types of men in the future. Anyways, I wish you much happiness in the future, and if you ever decide to make another update, I will be reading it. OP responds by saying, "One thing about manipulator is they almost never start big. It always starts small, a few comments. They almost sound like suggestions or will mask them as concerns, and will gradually manipulate you into thinking you are the wrong one or you are the one at fault. I don't have many words of advice, but I will say this. Not all behavior is red flag or green flag behavior. It almost always starts right in that in between, and by the time they're full on displaying red flags, you're already so deep into the manipulation you can hardly tell left from right. So if someone is displaying too many behaviors that's just iffy, is ignoring your boundaries because they just care about you too much, or they're starting to fall for you, run. Love bombing is usually how they get you. You can tell when someone is love bombing by simply saying, "Hey, this is moving too fast. Can we take a step back and just start slow?" Usually you can gauge from there based off how they react, per my therapist. Make sure to actually follow up on going slowly, and if they get agitated about moving slow, that's how you know. They usually tell lies about things, big or small, so try to fact check everything you can if at all possible. My ex husband loved to play the "you just don't know what real love feels like because you've never been in a healthy relationship before me" card whenever I raise concerns. Or he'll get affectionate and say, "You're just overthinking it, sweetie. Don't read too much into surface level things." If they just brush off your concerns and don't take them seriously or apologize and promise to change, but don't and promise to change, but don't make any real moves to actually change, get out of the relationship. They will always try to flip it on you if you have anything concrete on them. Make you seem crazy or like it's all your fault. They will never change, nor will they take your concerns seriously. And lastly, just trust your gut. If something feels off, it's because it most likely is. The warning signs are almost always there if you look for them. I hope your sister finds the love she deserves, and I hope she heals from the trauma that was not her fault. I hope you guys are doing well. Aww. Another commenter says, "Hi OP, I know it's been a while, but have you felt that bad gut feeling before your husband?" OP responds by saying, "I did. I chose to ignore it anyways because I thought he was too amazing. I believe his word instead of myself. I hope this helps." Oh. Well, I'm glad that OP is starting to look back and see the warning signs of all of this, and that she's moving forward. And it sounds like, as you know, each update has gone by, her life is getting better and better. Sure, there's some, drama here and there, but overall, she sounds like a very strong, a strong woman going through everything, and she's doing the best she can. What do you guys think of this? Let me know in the comment section. And if you like these types of stories, remember to continue to like and subscribe. I'll see you guys later.